This is a response to a question sent in by Ella K. Jennings from the Weirton-Steubenville metro area in Ohio. She asks a question we get fairly often about economic development programs and efforts in various parts of the country, particularly those badly hit by earlier disintegrations of what were once thriving industrial sectors. Ohio has several of those, including Youngstown, where I was born years ago. So I have a particular interest here. The question Ella Jennings poses has to do with the relationship between bringing in a new industry, such as, for example, petrochemicals, and hoping that they have what are called multiplier effects. That's a very simple idea which says if you bring in some industry, that in turn will stimulate other industries to come into the area. For example, if you build a factory, well, then there'll have to be some restaurants and other kinds of service industries for the workers who work in that factory, and so more jobs and presumably more business will be created. And she worries, very smartly, that this is going to be affected by the artificial intelligence process that is now invading American workplaces, and indeed workplaces around the world, replacing people with automated equipment, using artificial intelligence to be able to do work that used to require human hands and human brains. And she worries, will the advance of artificial intelligence undo the multiplier that was hoped for with all these efforts to bring an industry or two into, in this case, Weirton-Steubenville, but the same applies everywhere? Well, the short answer is yes, you should be worried. Artificial intelligence is going to make unnecessary all kinds of jobs, including precisely those that would have been brought in through the multiplier effect. And it raises the fundamental question: is there something misguided about the whole economic development program in this country, because it doesn't question or challenge the basic problem? We should not be slaves to technology. If a technology comes in that makes workers, say, twice as productive as they were before, there are two ways to take advantage of this improved technology. One of them, and that's the one followed by capitalist industries, is to fire half the workers. You don't need them. The other half that you keep, being twice as productive, will allow you to produce as many things as you did before, sell them, earn the same revenue as you did before, but make many more profits, because while you're earning the same revenue as before, half of your wages don't have to be paid anymore, and you can keep that as the employer for yourself, which is why the employer uses technology that way. But there is, of course, an alternative, which is that everybody keeps their job but works half a day. That way, working half the time, but being twice as productive, you produce the same amount, the company gets the same revenue, gets the same profit as before, because there isn't any extra profit for the employer, since the workers are still there and still get their same pay, even though they are working half-time. That's using technology for the improvement of the working life of working people, by giving them leisure, time for their families, time for their community, time for their relationships. Capitalism creates the unemployment problem we have, not technology. And if we used our technology differently, we wouldn't have the problem of depressed areas and an economic development program that keeps running into the same problem of how to handle technology, whether it's artificial intelligence or any other kind. I hope this has been an interesting response to Ella. Thank you for your question, and please, folks, send me your questions. That's what we're here for.